Don't chase. Attract by Earl Nightingale. Lesson 1. The Attraction Secret. I'd like to share with you today what I believe to be the strangest secret in the world. It's strange because it's so simple, so obvious, and yet 95% of people will never discover it. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to move forward with confidence and purpose while others appear stuck in a cycle of frustration? I've spent decades studying success, and I can tell you that the difference isn't intelligence, education, or luck. No, the secret is much simpler. Here it is. We become what we think about. Just 6 words. That's it. But within those 6 words lies the power to transform your life completely. This isn't just a modern idea. It's as ancient as Scripture itself. In Proverbs 20:3-7, we read, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he." The Bible was telling us thousands of years ago what behavioral scientists are only now beginning to understand. Your mind is like a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. Whatever you plant and tend to will eventually grow and bear fruit. If you constantly think about worry, fear, and lack, guess what will sprout in your life? But if you deliberately plant thoughts of faith, abundance, and purpose, that's precisely what will bloom. Let me give you a simple example. 2 people apply for the same job. One thinks, "I probably won't get this position. There are so many other qualified candidates." The other thinks, "God has prepared opportunities for me, and I'm ready to receive this blessing." Which person do you think approaches the interview with confidence? Which one makes a better impression? The outcome isn't mysterious at all. It's completely predictable. You see, God has already prepared wonderful things for you, but He won't force them into your life. You must be ready to receive them, and that readiness begins with your thoughts. This isn't wishful thinking or some kind of magic. It's a principle as reliable as gravity. Your dominant thoughts determine your actions form your habits shape your character, and your character creates your destiny. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 30 days, commit to watching your thoughts as carefully as you watch what you eat. Whenever you catch yourself thinking thoughts of fear, doubt, or scarcity, gently replace them with thoughts of faith, confidence, and abundance. Start each morning by writing down your goals as if you've already achieved them. I am so happy and grateful now that this simple exercise programs your mind to look for opportunities rather than obstacles. Throughout your day, pause and take a thought inventory. What are you dwelling on? Is it bringing you closer to your goals or pushing you away from them? Remember, you don't need to chase after what God has for you. The right mindset will attract it naturally. Like a powerful magnet, your consistent thoughts will draw to you the people, circumstances, and opportunities that match what you're focusing on. The strangest secret is hiding in plain sight, waiting for you to discover it. Your thoughts are shaping your future at this very moment. What will you choose to think about today? Lesson 2. The Soil and the Seed. I've observed over my many years that the human mind works with remarkable similarity to a garden. Just as a garden produces according to what is planted within it, your mind manifests in your life precisely what you plant there with your thoughts. This is a principle so fundamental that the Creator Himself designed it into the very fabric of existence. Consider for a moment what happens when a farmer prepares his field. First, he must clear the land of rocks, weeds, and debris. Similarly, your mind must be cleared of doubt, fear, and negative influences before anything beautiful can grow there. These mental weeds choke out productive thoughts before they have a chance to take root. What rocks of impossibility thinking are you allowing to remain in your mental garden? What weeds of doubt are stealing nutrients from your dreams? The quality of seed you select determines your harvest. A farmer would never randomly throw mixed seeds onto unprepared soil and expect a bountiful crop. Yet many of us do exactly this with our thoughts, allowing random worries, complaints, and limiting beliefs to be planted in our minds, then wondering why we don't see the results we desire. Your thoughts are seeds, and every thought eventually produces after its kind. God has already prepared wonderful things for you, but you must prepare the soil of your mind to receive them. This preparation isn't complicated, but it does require faithful attention. Each morning, set aside time to cultivate positive expectation. Throughout your day, be vigilant about what you allow to take root in your thinking. The television programs you watch, conversations you engage in, and books you read are all depositing seeds. Growth follows natural timing. The farmer doesn't plant today and harvest tomorrow. There is a season for everything. Often we abandon our dreams because we don't see immediate results, forgetting that beneath the surface, powerful forces are already at work. Your answered prayers may already be growing underground, developing strong roots before breaking through to visibility. The divine law of sowing and reaping cannot fail. It operates with perfect consistency, whether we acknowledge it or not. Plant thoughts of kindness, you'll grow kindness in return. Plant thoughts of abundance, and watch how provision begins to manifest. Plant thoughts of health and vitality, and feel your energy increase accordingly. The greatest gardeners know that daily tending makes the difference between mediocrity and excellence. Weeding is never complete. It's an ongoing responsibility. Each day brings new opportunities to pull out thoughts that don't serve your highest purpose and replace them with those aligned with your deepest desires and God's plan for your life. What will you choose to plant today? Your life tomorrow is being determined by the thought. Seeds you're planting right now. The soil is ready, the sun is shining, and the Creator of all things has provided everything needed for your success. You need only select worthy seeds and tend them with patience and faith. Lesson 3. The ship and the harbor. You know, friends, they don't build ships to leave them sitting safely in the harbor. That's not their purpose at all. Ships are built for the open sea, for adventure, for carrying precious cargo to distant shores. And in much the same way, you weren't created to remain in the safe confines of comfort and routine. God designed you for a greater journey. Think about this. A ship in harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are built for. The harbor represents our comfort zones, those familiar places where risks are minimal and challenges are few. But the open water, that's where discovery happens, where purpose is fulfilled, where God's plan for you unfolds. When we stay anchored to our fears, we miss the very experiences that would transform us. Remember, the same wind that blows against your sails is the wind that can propel you forward if you'll just adjust your direction and harness its power. Setting your course requires clarity of vision. Just as a captain charts the journey before leaving port, you must determine your destination. What shores are you meant to reach? What treasures has God prepared for you to discover? These aren't just idle questions. They are the very coordinates that will guide your life's journey. Along the way, you'll encounter storms. Count on it. The waters won't always be calm. But here's the wonderful truth. Storms don't last forever, and they often drive us to destinations we would never have discovered in fair weather. During those difficult passages, keep your hand steady on the wheel and your eyes fixed on the horizon. The storm isn't your destination. It's merely part of the journey. Your faith serves as a lighthouse, especially in the darkest hours, when visibility is poor and the waves threaten to overwhelm you. That steady beam of light reminds you of home, of purpose, of the one who called you to sail in the first place. Listen for that still, small voice that guides you through the fog. This is the way, walk in it. No captain sails alone. A wise voyager surrounds himself with a capable crew, people who share the vision and contribute to the journey. Look around you. Who has God placed in your life to support your mission, who challenges you to be braver, to sail farther, and equally important, whose journey are you supporting? The joy of reaching new shores is unlike any other feeling. There's a special satisfaction that comes from growth, from becoming more than you were when you first set sail. Each new harbor, each new experience, expands your world and deepens your understanding of God's vastness. Remember this as you navigate life's great waters. God didn't create the ocean to frighten you, but to teach you about His power and your potential. He didn't design ships to sit idle, but to fulfill their purpose through movement and progress. Are you still anchored in the harbor of hesitation? Or have you raised your sails to catch the divine wind that wants to carry you to your destiny? The choice is yours, but know this: the greatest adventures, the most precious treasures, the fullest expression of your purpose, they all await you beyond the breakwater. Don't just admire the horizon from the safety of the shore. Chart your course, gather your courage, and set sail. The waters of possibility are waiting. Lesson 4. The Service Principle. What I'm about to share with you may seem contrary to what the world teaches. In an age focused on getting ahead and obtaining more, the greatest secret to abundance lies not in what you can get, but in what you can give. This is the service principle, and it operates with mathematical precision in both the physical and spiritual realms. Picture this truth like water in a well. Most folks peer down into that well wondering how much they can take out. But the divine paradox is this: the more you draw from yourself to give to others, the more that well fills up. God designed the universe around this principle of service. Consider your unique talents and abilities. You weren't given these gifts merely for your own benefit or entertainment. Each skill, each natural inclination represents a divine assignment, something prepared specifically for you to contribute to others. The marketplace demonstrates this principle clearly. Those who earn the most are invariably those who find ways to serve the most people effectively. The teacher who impacts thousands of students, the writer whose words heal millions of hearts, the business person who solves problems for countless customers. Their rewards directly correspond to their service. But here's where many go astray. They chase the rewards rather than focusing on the service that produces those rewards. It's putting the cart before the horse, and the results are predictably disappointing. You cannot reap where you have not sown. Let me ask you something important. What can you do better than most people around you? What comes naturally to you that others find challenging? In those answers lies your service blueprint. Perhaps you communicate with unusual clarity, or maybe you have an exceptional ability to organize chaos into order. Whatever it may be, that gift represents your divine toolkit. The beauty of service extends far beyond material compensation. When you align your actions with this principle, something remarkable happens inside you. A sense of purpose and fulfillment emerges that no amount of wealth acquired through self-centered means could ever provide. Think about those moments when you've helped someone with no expectation of return. Warm satisfaction that spread through your being. That wasn't just emotion. It was spiritual confirmation. It was spiritual confirmation that you were operating according to divine design. The multiplication factor is where this principle becomes truly astounding. One act of service creates ripple effects beyond your imagination. The person you help becomes better equipped to help others, and on it goes, expanding your impact exponentially. Your mind may protest, but what about my needs? This is where faith enters the equation. When you commit to serving according to your divine assignment, you activate promises like those found in Philippians 4:19, and my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of His glory in Christ Jesus. The service principle isn't merely a strategy. It's recognition of how the universe actually operates. Stop chasing success through self-centered means. Instead, pour yourself into meaningful service aligned with your natural gifts. What you seek is already prepared for you, waiting on the other side of your contribution. Lesson 5. The Mirror of Relationships. There's a profound truth that governs all human experience. It is as reliable as the sunrise and as consistent as the changing seasons. That truth is this: we do not attract what we want in life, but rather what we are. The world around us, especially our relationships, serves as a perfect mirror, reflecting back to us our innermost thoughts, beliefs, and character. Consider for a moment the people who surround you today. They are not there by mere chance. Each has been drawn to you through the invisible force of your being. Like attracts, like in this universe, operating through a divine law that never falters. If you find yourself surrounded by negativity, by people who drain your energy or diminish your spirit, look first within. What energy are you radiating? What thoughts dominate your mind? The world cannot give you what you haven't first cultivated within yourself. The magnificent truth is that when you change yourself, your world changes automatically. This is not mystical thinking. It is a practical principle that successful people have understood throughout history. Before you can attract the right circumstances, the right opportunities, and yes, the right people, you must become right within yourself. Character is the most powerful magnet in human experience. A person of integrity, kindness, and purposeful energy creates a force field that naturally draws similar qualities. This is God's design. Not that we should manipulate others, but that like-minded souls would find one another through the authentic expression of our highest selves. Divine orchestration is constantly at work in your life. The Creator has already prepared certain relationships, certain connections that align perfectly with your purpose. But these connections can only manifest when you are prepared to receive them. Like tuning a radio to receive a particular broadcast, you must align your character and consciousness to attract what has been prepared for you. Take a moment now to conduct a simple but powerful exercise. Write down the names of the 5 people with whom you spend the most time. Now consider, what are their dominant qualities? What level of achievement characterizes their lives? What kind of thinking do they engage in? The answer may surprise you, for in many ways, these 5 people represent the average of what you will become. This isn't meant to frighten you, but to empower you with awareness. If your closest associations don't reflect where you want to go, it may be time to thoughtfully elevate your circle. This doesn't require abandoning old friends, but it does mean strategically investing more time with those whose character and achievements inspire you upward. Remember, you need not chase after the right relationships. Instead, focus on becoming the person who naturally attracts them. Develop your mind through positive, purposeful thought. Strengthen your character through consistent, principled action. Expand your capacity to serve and contribute value. As you do these things, you'll find that the right people, those God has prepared to walk alongside you, will appear in your life as naturally as flowers bloom in spring. The mirror never lies, my friends. Your relationships reflect who you are. Transform yourself and watch as your world transforms around you. Lesson 6. The Worthy Purpose. I'd like to talk with you today about something that has fascinated me throughout my entire career. The concept of purpose, not just any purpose, but a worthy purpose that transcends the material world we often find ourselves chasing. You see, most people spend their lives in pursuit of things. Bigger houses, fancier cars, more impressive job titles. There's nothing inherently wrong with these goals, but when examined closely, we find they rarely provide the lasting fulfillment we expected. That's because material possessions, by their very nature, are temporary. They wear out, become outdated, or simply lose their appeal over time. A worthy purpose, however, is something altogether different. It's the driving force that gets you out of bed each morning with enthusiasm. It's the work that doesn't feel like work. It's what you would do even if you weren't paid to do it. Ask yourself this simple question. What is it that I love to do so much that I would gladly pursue it, even if there were no monetary reward? Your answer reveals much about your true purpose. When you identify activities that energize rather than drain you, you've discovered an important clue about your life's worthy purpose. The remarkable thing about finding your worthy purpose is the clarity it brings to decision-making. When you know your purpose with certainty, life's complex choices become surprisingly simple. Every opportunity can be measured against a single question. Does this align with my purpose? Those that do deserve your attention? Those that don't can be respectfully declined without regret. But here's where many people miss an essential truth. Your highest purpose always aligns with God's plan for your life. We were each created with unique talents, temperaments, and abilities designed to fulfill a specific role. When you discover work that uses your natural gifts and brings you joy, you've likely stumbled upon the divine intention for your life. Even life's most difficult challenges take on new meaning when viewed through the lens of purpose. What seems like an obstacle may actually be preparation. What feels like a detour might be the exact path needed to develop the character required for your purpose. Nothing is wasted when every experience contributes to your growth. The most purpose-driven people I've encountered share a common trait. They experience a profound sense of fulfillment regardless of their material circumstances. Their joy doesn't depend on external validation because they measure success differently. They find satisfaction in the work itself and the service they provide, in the difference they make. Remember, you don't need to chase purpose. The worthy purpose that will bring you lasting fulfillment has already been prepared for you. Your task is not to create it, but to discover it, Not to force it, but to allow it to reveal itself through your natural interests, abilities, and the quiet voice of inspiration. When you align yourself with this worthy purpose, this divine intention for your life, you'll find yourself not chasing success, but attracting it naturally. You'll become a magnet for the very opportunities, resources, and relationships needed to fulfill your purpose. And in that alignment, you'll discover a joy that no material possession could ever provide. Lesson 7. The Abundant Mind. I'd like to share with you today one of the most powerful transformations you can make in your life. The shift from scarcity thinking to an abundant mind. Most people walk through life wearing invisible blinders, seeing only limitation, restriction, and not enough. They believe that for them to gain, someone else must lose. This is the trap of scarcity thinking. God's universe doesn't operate this way at all. Look at nature. One tiny seed produces a tree that bears thousands of fruits, each containing more seeds. The sun doesn't give light to one person while withholding it from another. The air doesn't reserve its oxygen for the privileged few. God designed a world of magnificent abundance. When you begin to see through the lens of abundance, everything changes. You notice opportunities where others see only problems. You recognize that wealth, happiness, and fulfillment aren't finite resources to be fought over, but infinite blessings available to all who align their thinking with God's principles. The multiplication principle works like this. Whatever you focus on with gratitude expands in your life. When you appreciate the $5 in your pocket instead of lamenting it isn't 50, you set in motion forces that attract greater prosperity, as Jesus demonstrated with 5 loaves and 2 fish. In God's economy, acknowledgement and gratitude create the conditions for multiplication. Many of us carry artificial ceilings in our minds, invisible barriers we've constructed through years of negative programming. People like me don't become successful. I'm not smart enough. I don't deserve abundance. These self-imposed limits have no basis in reality, yet they determine the height of our achievement. Identifying and removing these mental barriers is essential spiritual work. Scripture tells us, "I have come that they may have life, and have it abundantly." This divine promise isn't about mere survival, but about overflowing fullness in every area of life. God doesn't withhold good things from His children. He delights in our prosperity when that prosperity serves His purposes. The generous spirit is the natural outgrowth of abundance thinking. When you know there's more than enough, giving becomes joyful rather than fearful. You understand that generosity creates a circuit of blessing that returns to you multiplied. This isn't magical thinking, it's spiritual law. Practical abundance shows up in daily habits. Start noticing and appreciating beauty around you. Express genuine gratitude for what you have now. Give freely without calculating the return. Speak words of plenty rather than lack. Surround yourself with people who think abundantly. Remember, the world mirrors back to you what you hold in your mind. If you see scarcity, you'll find evidence for it everywhere. If you cultivate an abundant mind, you'll discover that God has already prepared a life of richness beyond your imagination. The choice is yours, and it begins with what you choose to think about right now, in this very moment. Your abundant mind is the key that unlocks the storehouse of blessings already prepared for you. Don't chase after prosperity. Attract it by becoming prosperity. Attract it by becoming prosperity. Minded first. Lesson 8. The Creative Method. The greatest fortune in life isn't found in material possessions, but in the boundless wellspring of ideas waiting to be discovered by the prepared mind. Ideas are the true currency of our existence, more valuable than gold or silver. They are the seeds from which all human achievement has sprung. God has given each of us this remarkable factory between our ears, capable of producing ideas worth millions, yes, even billions, when properly directed. The tragedy is that most people live their entire lives never realizing the creative power they possess. They walk through life with this golden gift unopened, this talent unexercised. Your imagination is not mere fantasy or idle daydreaming. It is the workshop of the mind where great achievements are first conceived. Edison imagined the light bulb before it illuminated a single room. The Wright brothers envisioned flight before leaving the ground. Every church, hospital, and school existed first as a mere thought in someone's mind. To strengthen your creative faculty, begin with this simple exercise. Set aside 15 minutes each day for purposeful imagination. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, close your eyes, and mentally rehearse the achievement of your deepest goals. See yourself already in possession of the life you desire. Feel the emotions associated with this achievement. Make it vivid, detailed, and real. The Bible tells us that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This profound truth reveals that we must first create in our imagination what we wish to create in our imagination, what we wish to create in our reality. The invisible always precedes the visible. Before the potter shapes the clay, he shapes the idea in his mind. Another powerful creative method is the practice of asking better questions. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you habitually ask yourself. Instead of "Why can't I succeed?" ask "How can I serve others more effectively?" Instead of "Why don't I have enough?" ask "What gifts and talents has God already blessed me with that I can develop further?" Creativity thrives on input. Fill your mind with inspiring books, uplifting conversations, and new experiences. Travel when possible, even if just to a new neighborhood in your own city. Expose yourself to different viewpoints and perspectives. The creative mind is a collecting mind, gathering raw materials from which new ideas can be fashioned. When an idea comes to you, and they will come with increasing frequency as you practice these methods, capture it immediately. Keep a small notebook with you at all times. Some of your most valuable insights will arrive unexpectedly, and if not recorded, they will often vanish like morning mist. Most importantly, understand that your creative ability is not of your own making, but a divine gift entrusted to your stewardship. You are created in the image of the Creator himself. Your ability to imagine, to solve problems, to envision better ways, these are reflections of your spiritual heritage. Don't chase the creations of others when God has equipped you to create your own path. Your unique ideas, properly nurtured and developed, will attract to you opportunities and resources beyond anything you could acquire through mere imitation or pursuit. The creative method is not about striving harder, it's about thinking better, and in this simple shift lies the difference between an ordinary life and an extraordinary one. Lesson 9. The Faith Factor. A marvelous truth awaits those who understand it. Faith is not merely believing in what cannot be seen. It is the substance, the actual material, of things hoped for. Throughout my years of studying success and human achievement, I've observed that faith stands as the dividing line between those who attract their dreams and those who merely chase them. Faith operates as a magnifying lens through which your thoughts gain power. When you combine unwavering belief with your clearly defined purpose, you create an irresistible force that draws your desires toward you. This is the law of attraction operating at its highest level. Consider the biblical example of Abraham, who was called to leave everything familiar and journey toward an unknown destination. God had prepared something magnificent for him, but Abraham needed to activate his faith to receive it. He didn't chase after promises. He simply believed and moved in the direction of his belief. The result: he became the father of nations. Your faith operates in precisely the same manner. When you truly believe God has already prepared your success, your relationships, your achievements, you stop the exhausting practice of chasing after them. Instead, you begin to recognize the opportunities that have been placed in your path all along. The trouble with most folks is they spend their lives frantically pursuing what they want, never realizing that this very pursuit often pushes their desires further away. Like trying to catch your own shadow, the faster you run, the faster you run, the faster you run, the faster it moves away from you. Faith operates differently. It stands firmly in place, radiating confidence like a beacon, and allows good things to be drawn toward it. Remember this vital principle. Faith is not passive wishing. It is active confidence. It doesn't sit idly hoping for change. It moves with certainty toward its goal. When you rise each morning with the absolute conviction that God has prepared your path, you'll find yourself taking actions aligned with that belief. You'll speak differently. You'll make decisions differently. You'll make decisions differently. You'll even carry yourself differently. Here's a practical way to strengthen your faith muscles. Begin speaking about your goals and dreams as though they've already been accomplished. Notice I didn't say to pretend or to fabricate. I mean to genuinely speak from a place of such certainty that your words reflect what you know is already yours. I am becoming financially independent carries far more power than I hope to be financially independent someday. Faith also removes the anxiety of timing. When you know with certainty that something is already prepared for you, you can release the desperate need to have it immediately. This relaxed confidence is extraordinarily attractive, both to opportunities and to other people. Think of your faith as the container that holds your thought, seeds from previous chapters. Without this container, even the most powerful thoughts and intentions will scatter in the wind. But within the protective vessel of faith, they can take root and flourish. Today, I challenge you to identify one area where you've been chasing rather than attracting. Release the frantic pursuit, stand firmly in faith, and watch as the very thing you've been seeking begins moving toward you. For as surely as night follows day, faith will always outperform pursuit when it comes to receiving what God has already prepared. Lesson 10. The next faithful step. Each morning as dawn breaks across the horizon, we are gifted with something remarkable, a fresh page upon which to write our day's story. I've often observed that the most successful people aren't those who attempt to see the entire staircase of their journey, but rather those who faithfully take the next step before them. Think of it this way, my friend. When driving at night along a country road, your headlights illuminate only the next 100 feet or so. Yet, by continually moving forward within that illuminated space, you can complete an entire journey. Life works much the same way. God reveals just enough of the path for us to take our next faithful step. Too many good people become paralyzed, waiting for complete clarity. They want the entire roadmap before beginning their journey, but that's not how divine guidance typically works. Remember how Abraham was simply told to go to a land that would be shown to him? He didn't receive the complete itinerary, just the next step. The principle is wonderfully simple. Focus not on the distant horizon, but on the ground directly before you. What is the one thing you can do today that moves you closer to your goal? What single action aligns with the person you're becoming? That's your next faithful step? I recall speaking with a young man who dreamed of becoming a published author. He spoke eloquently about his ideas, but confessed he hadn't written a single word. "I'm waiting for the perfect time when everything aligns," he explained. I smiled and shared what I'm now sharing with you. Begin where you are with what you have, right now. His next faithful step wasn't to write a bestseller. It was simply to write the first paragraph. The beauty of this approach is that it transforms overwhelming journeys into manageable movements. No need to furrow your brow wondering how you'll climb the entire mountain. Just focus on the next step up, then the next. And before long, you'll turn around to discover you've ascended higher than you ever imagined possible. But here's the secret that separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Consistency compounds. Taking that faithful step repeatedly, day after day, generates momentum that eventually becomes unstoppable. It's like placing a single grain of sand on a scale each day. At first, nothing appears to happen. But continue this practice faithfully, and eventually the scale will tip. God has indeed prepared remarkable things for you. opportunities, relationships, achievements that align with your highest purpose. But these blessings rarely arrive in a single dramatic moment. More often, they unfold through a series of faithful steps taken consistently over time. So I ask you tonight, what is your next faithful step? What single action can you take tomorrow that honors your goals and values? Identify it. Commit to it. Then take that step with confidence, knowing that as you do, the path before you will continue to unfold. You need not chase success or happiness. Simply take the next right step and watch as what God has prepared begins to find its way to you. Lesson 11. The Preparation Principle. Have you ever noticed how the most spectacular successes often seem to come to people suddenly? One day they're struggling along like the rest of us, and the next they're launched into achievements that leave us wondering, how did they get so lucky? My friends, there's no such thing as luck. What appears as sudden success is almost always the final visible result of extensive invisible preparation. This is what I call the preparation principle, and it's one of the most powerful secrets to living the life God intends for you. Think of the mighty oak tree. When it finally breaks through the soil, that's the moment we notice it. But long before that visible sign, important work was happening beneath the surface. The acorn was slowly, methodically developing its root system. It was preparing. This is exactly how God works in your life. While you're wondering why your big breakthrough hasn't come, He's actively preparing both you and your opportunity. But there's a critical partnership at work here. God does His part, but you must do yours. What does your preparation look like? First, it means developing yourself daily through study, practice, and character building. Every skill you sharpen, every virtue you strengthen, and every bit of knowledge you gain is essential preparation. The person you are becoming is precisely the person who will be ready when opportunity arrives. Remember, when David faced Goliath, it looked to the world like a shepherd boy got lucky. But David had been preparing for years, developing courage and skill by protecting his sheep from lions and bears. When his moment came, he was ready. Your preparation also means being alert and watchful. Opportunities rarely announce themselves with trumpets and fanfare. They often arrive disguised as ordinary moments, small decisions, or chance meetings. The prepared mind recognizes them for what they truly are. A farmer understands this principle perfectly. He doesn't chase after crops trying to force them to grow faster. Instead, he prepares the soil, plants the seeds, removes the weeds, and then allows nature to work its miracle. His success comes not from chasing, but from attracting the harvest through proper preparation. In the same way, don't exhaust yourself chasing after what you want. Instead, prepare yourself so thoroughly that what you desire naturally comes to you. This is the difference between pursuing and attracting. Right now, God is preparing situations, circumstances, and people that will become part of your success story. Your job is simply to prepare yourself to receive them when they arrive. Polish your skills, develop your character, strengthen your faith, and maintain an attitude of expectancy. Remember this: when the student is ready, the teacher appears. When you are properly prepared, the opportunities God has been arranging will suddenly become visible to you. What looks like overnight success to others will actually be the natural outcome of your faithful preparation meeting, God's perfect timing. The preparation principle teaches us patience. It reminds us that what we're becoming is more important than what we're getting, and it gives us the confidence to stop chasing and start attracting by focusing on personal readiness rather than external pursuit. God has already prepared it for you. Are you preparing yourself to receive it? Lesson 12. The Circle of Completion. In my many years of studying successful men and women, I've noticed a remarkable pattern that separates those who achieve their dreams from those who remain in perpetual pursuit. The difference isn't talent, education, or even opportunity. It's their understanding of a principle I call the circle of completion. When we began this journey together in Lesson 1, we discovered the strangest secret. We become what we think about. Now, as we conclude, we must understand that this principle works in a continuous cycle. The end of one journey is simply the beginning of another. Most people live their lives in fragments, starting many things but finishing few. They plant seeds in their garden of possibility, but abandon them before harvest. They set sail from harbor, but turn back at the first sign of rough seas. My friends, this is the very definition of chasing rather than attracting. God has already prepared a path for you, complete with every resource, relationship, and opportunity you'll need. But the divine appointment with your destiny requires that you complete what you start. Completion creates credibility with others, with yourself, and with the universe itself. Think of the caterpillar. If it abandoned its transformation halfway through, it would never know flight. The butterfly emerges only after the full cycle of change is honored. Your transformation works by the same natural law. I once spoke with a man who had started 17 different businesses over 20 years. None of them succeeded. He told me with disappointment. When I asked how long he stayed with each venture, he admitted usually about 6 months. This man wasn't failing at business. He was failing at completion. Remember this. Attraction power grows strongest at the point most people quit. Just as an airplane uses most of its fuel during takeoff, the greatest energy in any worthy pursuit is required in the final stages before breakthrough. The Bible tells us in Galatians 6:9, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." This isn't just spiritual advice. It's a fundamental principle of achievement. What separates the extraordinary from the ordinary is simply the extraordinary's commitment to finishing what they start. They understand that each completed circle of effort creates a stronger magnetic field, pulling greater opportunities toward them. When you demonstrate to the universe that you can be trusted with completion, you'll find yourself entrusted with greater beginnings. This is how attraction replaces chase. Not through magical thinking, but through the proven pattern of completed action. As we close this book, I challenge you to identify one important area in your life where you've been chasing rather than completing. Perhaps it's a relationship that needs closure, a project demanding finalization, or a goal requiring renewed commitment. Complete that circle. Finish what you started, and watch how your power of attraction multiplies. For in that completion, you align yourself with the divine order that has already prepared what you seek. The wisdom in these pages isn't new. It's as ancient as creation itself, but its application in your life begins anew each day. Don't chase what God has already prepared for you. Complete what's before you and attract what's meant for you.